another action figure review, and today I got a really cool one, the Batman Arkham Asylum series Scarecrow figure from DC Collectibles. This is an old figure, a really old figure. I can't even remember when the first Arkham game came out. I think it might have been 2008. But yeah, there's a line of figures for the game. And I never picked up any of those figures. One of my favorite villains is Scarecrow. I've been wanting a cool Scarecrow figure for a little while now. And my comic book store had this guy for a decent price, so I figured why the hell not pick this one up, because it's a really cool look for Scarecrow. So we'll take a look at him in the packaging first. He's got the sort of clamshell packaging going on. The bubbles made to look like Batman's cowl, which is pretty cool. You get the Batman Arkham Asylum logo there. Scarecrow collector action figure, DC Collectibles there. In the background is like Gotham. And then you got the figure inside, which is pretty cool. Flip around the back, and it showcased all the other figures you can get. So you have the Batman armored, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, and the Joker with Scarface. So pretty cool. But we'll get him out of the packaging and take a closer look at him. Right, now we have Scarecrow out of the packaging, and this is a really cool figure. Liking it more than I actually thought I was going to like it, to be completely honest. The articulation isn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a pretty static figure, to be completely honest with you. The sculpt's absolutely fantastic. Paint app's really good. Obviously not perfect because the articulation still could use improvement, but overall it's a really, really cool one. So let's take a closer look and take a look at the head sculpt first. If it wants to freaking, there we go. So here he's got his head sculptor's mask. It's really, really cool. Obviously the whole point of Scarecrow is being scary. He's definitely really creepy looking. He's got the sack sort of Scarecrow-like mask. You got the threading around the mouth and whatnot. His eyes are painted this orange, which look really cool. You got this nice black wash. It brings all the details of stitching and whatnot in the mask. You've got the filters here for his to protect himself from his fear gas, which is really, really cool. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Very creepy. His hood looks really cool. You got a really nice sculpted detail in the brown. It's a nice dark brown with a black wash to bring out those details, and you got this nice sculpted stitching all over the figure, which looks really good. He's got the noose sculpted around his neck and painted, which looks really awesome. And this is a pliable material, it moves pretty freely. The lower part of the hood piece, which is again really cool, sculpted really nicely with all the stitching. And you've got this bare sort of torso here. You see like the bones and the rib cage better. He's really skinny. And they have a really nice paint on the skin to kind of make it look almost sickly like, which is really cool. Even though he's really skinny, he's got quite the ab. He's got like friggin' six-pack going on there. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so that's really cool. He's got these like arm sleeve things going on, which kind of remind me of like a straight jacket sleeves. But they have this nice stitching again, and the paint is really nice, and these sculpted buckles look really good. He's got some wrappings around his hands, and his fingernails are all dirty and everything. Onto his other arm, which is the more interesting one, you've got his fear toxin gauntlet. So you got the tubes here, which are painted silver, and you got a bright yellowish orange for the fear toxin. I think it's a little bit brighter on the figure than it should be, but that's not, I don't care about that too much. And you got the wires here, which are tubes which connect to the syringes, and the syringes here are really cool. They are made in a pliable material, so they do bend pretty easily. I got lucky and mine came out of the packaging relatively not too badly warped. This one's a little warped, but that's about it. So I guess the only thing I worry about is them warping, but you can just use the hot water or hairbrush or hair dryer method to straighten those out if you need to. But it looks really, really cool. And you got the sort of this rope belt thing going on. You got this little loincloth thing, I guess. It's made of very pliable material. You got the pants, which again kind of look like straight jacket pants or something like that. Got these buckles going down the legs, and the stitching and all the paint just looks really, really good. And some more buckles, and he's got these foot wrappings going on. And his toes are sculpted there, look pretty good and whatnot. And overall, it's a really good looking figure. You know, no real complaints overall. The sculpt is amazing, paint's amazing. He's a really scary looking character, and the figure definitely captures that look very well from the game. In terms of articulation, like I said, he's not terrible, but he's not fantastic either. He has a ball joint in the head, and you can move it up about as far as I have it, and then move down a decent amount, rotates, and you get a bit of pivot too, which is cool. He has a ball hinge in the shoulder, which moves about that far. It doesn't move out too far, but it's not terrible. It's better than having just a swivel. He's got a swivel cut in the bicep, a single hinge in the elbow, which actually moves past 90 degrees, so that's really good. Here he has a swivel in the wrist, and here he has a swivel at the gauntlet. He has a swivel at the torso, swivel hips, a swivel cut at the thighs. Unfortunately, no knee articulation. That's probably the only articulation he's really missing that I would have liked. So you're kind of forced to always have him in this hunched sort of position, because this torso is also sculpted in a hunched position. So you're kind of forced to have him in that pose. Unfortunately, you can't stand him up straight, which my only real gripe with the figure. Aside from that, everything's fine. And then he also has a ball joint in the ankle, so that's cool. So you get some decent poses out of him. Definitely there's more articulation going on in the upper torso than in the legs, unfortunately, but it's not too bad. In terms of accessories, he does come with one accessory, which is this little baggie. I'm assuming it's a baggie of fear toxin. I might be wrong, it might not be. It's been a while since I played the game, but I think it's a baggie of fear toxin. So that's pretty cool. It's in the same sort of stitching style that his clothes are in. Got a nice black wash on it, and this, to make it look all leathery and whatnot, or like make it look like a burlap bag or something, which is cool. And you got the little rope sculpted on there that's tying it together, so that's really cool. And you can hold it in his hand there, which is also really nice, and holds it tightly. Before I continue on, I will just quickly give you a size comparison. I only have one other Arkham figure, and it's from the Arkham Origins line, and that is Batman. So I think this Batman's about the same size as the Arkham Asylum Batman. And there's the size difference. So he is shorter. I mean, if he could stand up straight, he would be probably close to the same height as Batman. He'd be a little shorter to make sense. I mean, Batman's supposed to be a taller, imposing character, but I'd say they scale in really well. So that's really cool. And overall, the Scarecrow is a really cool figure. I know he actually isn't cheap online. I don't know about loose, but in terms of in the packaging, he can go from between 60 to 90 bucks. So he's not the cheapest figure in the world, and I definitely wouldn't pay that for this figure. But if you're a Scarecrow fan, I think this is definitely one of the coolest Scarecrow figures out there. And if you can get this one for a good price, I highly recommend it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.